Good morning, America. Travel ban battle. President Trump's immigration crackdown just hours away from a courtroom showdown as the president levels a new attack on the media, claiming contrary to overwhelming evidence that the press is covering up terror attacks.
And in many cases, the very, very dishonest press doesn't want to report it.
Plus, the breaking headline this morning about Trump's cabinet picks.
Urgent manhunt. The race to find these two suspects, accused of killing 3 people on a crime spree. Now on the run, crossing state lines, where police think the dangerous pair may be hiding out right now.
Britney Spears' niece in critical condition after crashing into a pond. The off-road vehicle believed to be a gift from her mom, Jamie Lynn.
Oh my God!
Britney now asking for wishes and prayers for the 8-year-old. Was she too young to be behind the wheel?
And Tom Brady finally losing something.
Did someone take my jersey?
The Super Bowl MVP's game jersey snatched right after the Super Bowl.
If it shows up on eBay somewhere, someone let me know.
Police now on the hunt for the jersey that could be worth $500,000.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
I keep thinking of Rick Astley, you know. Never can go wrong starting a Tuesday on that. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's very good to be back. And you know what? Who else is back? The Patriots. They're back in Boston this morning. They're getting ready for their big Super Bowl parade. It's going to be a great time up there. And if you woke up in some parts of the country, you probably saw this headline, and you may have thought the Patriots had lost. That was right after Tom Brady threw an interception. Looks defeated. But if there's anything we learned from the game, never give up.
That's
Rick Astley.
Like the shirt, right? Like the jersey right there.
Exactly.
Okay, we got a lot going on in Capitol Hill today as well. Let's take a look at the Senate right now. Democrats in the middle of a 24-hour push to stop Betsy DeVos from becoming Education Secretary. That vote likely to come later today.
And overnight, President Trump blasting the press and pushing for his travel ban. The stakes for the White House very high today. A federal court hearing on the ban is set to begin later today. So let's go right to ABC's senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, good morning to you. The White House is preparing for a legal showdown, and as you said, that happens today. People here say this ban needs to be reinstated because the nation's security is at risk. The president himself says the courts must act fast. President Trump's controversial immigration crackdown takes center stage in a federal courtroom today. Both sides given 30 minutes to make their case on that executive order restricting travel for refugees and citizens of 7 Muslim-majority countries. The president defending that ban.
People that love us and want to love our country and will end up loving our country are allowed in, not people that want to destroy us and destroy our country.
But while lawyers for the Justice Department told the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals the ban is a lawful exercise of the president's authority, nearly 100 top tech companies to attorneys general from 15 states and the District of Columbia, all joining the legal fight opposing the president. But this morning, another controversy brewing. This claim made in front of U.S. Central Command troops that the media is covering up terror attacks.
You've seen what happened in Paris and Nice. All over Europe, it's happening. It's gotten to a point where it's not even being reported. And in many cases, the very, very dishonest press doesn't want to report it. They have their reasons, and you understand that.
On Air Force One, Press Secretary Sean Spicer pressed for evidence.
Yeah, we'll provide a list later. There's a lot of instances that have occurred where I don't think that they've gotten the coverage it deserves.
Released overnight, that list, 78 terror attacks the White House says were underreported. Among them, cases like a 2014 attack in Abu Dhabi, an American teacher stabbed to death. But also that shooting in San Bernardino that left 14 people dead. The Pulse nightclub attack in Orlando, and that Christmas market attack in Germany. All high-profile cases covered by just about every major news outlet. And here is that list, a full 6 pages. Just take a look at this. Many of these incidents covered by the media. As for that ruling today, we are not sure exactly when it will come down. Robin and George, we do know it could come pretty quickly after these oral arguments wrap today.
Okay, Cecilia, thanks. Let's get more on this now from our Chief Global Affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. Martha, let me begin with you. We've got this list right here. It's kind of nonsense. I mean, there's dozens of attacks there that were covered extensively by the press. Others that aren't a terror attack, or experts have not said it's a terror attack behind them. Others with no casualties. Even more chilling, the president delivering this attack in front of the military.
In front of the military, which is obviously supposed to be non-political, but he gave a sort of stump speech in front of the military. And think about it, George. The U.S. press has embedded with the military all these years, told their story again and again. And one of the great ironies to me here, when I hear President Trump talk about the press and we're not covering this, he also talks about ISIS beheading people. James Foley was the first person beheaded. He was a journalist.
And we see a pattern here. The judge rules against the president. He's a so-called judge. Polls are bad. They're fake. They're fake news. Clearly an effort here to delegitimize those who might be a check on the president.
It almost seems like a strategy. Don't believe those people no matter what they say. And this time he's not only saying don't believe them, he's telling us how to do our job.
Meanwhile, in that O'Reilly interview, we saw another instance last night of the president seeming to take the Russian line on what's going on in Ukraine, suggesting that maybe Putin is not behind those separatists who are moving into eastern Ukraine.
Some more extraordinary comments. He really hasn't said anything bad about Russia or about Putin in any great degree. He keeps, in a way, defending them. So that is something we have to watch. To me, they're trying to, I say, renovate foreign policy. But they've taken this beautiful historical house and they want to take it down to the studs. They're doing everything over.
Okay, Martha Raddatz.
And also continuing to be a headline, of course, is the travel ban. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, we're going to have that today. It can be a little bit confusing. Tell us what's at stake here.
Yeah, so all we're talking about for now is this temporary restraining order, this temporary halt on implementing the ban. But as we've talked about before, that doesn't mean this isn't really important. And here's why. Because right now, a federal district court judge has said, I'm not letting the administration implement this. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, the next court up, is now going to assess that ruling. Now, some people are going to say, so what? Ninth Circuit is going to end up in the Supreme Court. Maybe, but maybe not. The bottom line is if the Ninth Circuit agrees with the district court judge and says the administration cannot move forward with this, the U.S. Supreme Court very well may say, at least for now, we're not going to hear this. We're not going to hear the question about should the temporary restraining order be in place. If that happens, that means that the administration cannot move forward with the order, at least for now, and that's a big delay for them and a big setback.
So a lot on the line today.
Absolutely.
And you believe also that the president's tweets could have an impact on the case.
Well, you know, one of the legal questions is what was the intent of the order? And when you look at the president's tweets, he states what the intent of the order is. Do I think it's going to be dispositive, what he said in those tweets? No. Do I think it's going to be helpful to Trump? Absolutely not.
All right, Dan. Thank you.
Let's move on now to that showdown on Capitol Hill, where Democrats have kept the Senate open all through the night in their bid to block President Trump's pick for Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. Our congressional correspondent Mary Bruce is there. And Mary, I want to get to that vote on DeVos that's coming later today, but there's also breaking news about Trump's pick for Labor Secretary. He admitted to employing an undocumented immigrant.
Yeah, George, this is the kind of thing that's derailed nominees in the past. Andrew Puzder, Trump's pick for Labor Secretary, admitting he employed an undocumented worker for years. Now, he says he immediately ended his housekeeper's employment when he learned she was not documented to work in the U.S. and that he's paid all the necessary back taxes. But Puzder is already under fire for criticizing worker protections, and his confirmation hearing has been rescheduled several times. Perhaps a sign his nomination could be in trouble.
Democrats trying hard to stop Betsy DeVos, but that vote is coming later today. She's likely to get through.
Yeah, George, what we've seen here is a 24-hour marathon Hail Mary. Democrats making a last-ditch attempt to try and block Betsy DeVos. They've been here on the Senate floor talking all night long, voicing their concerns about her lack of experience. They're hoping to convince just one more Republican to oppose her. That's all it would take to sink her confirmation, but it does not appear to be working. And this morning, DeVos is still headed for confirmation.
Yeah, and if they don't find that other Republican, then the vice president's going to be called in. This is something that's never happened before.
This is something we've never seen before, George. The Vice President, Mike Pence, is likely headed here to the Capitol later today. He'll have to use his power as the tie-breaking vote to push DeVos over the finish line. The first time a Vice President used that power to confirm a cabinet nominee.
Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much.
And George, President Trump is also facing backlash in the UK for recent policy decisions, and now a call to keep him from addressing Parliament on an upcoming state visit. Our chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, is in London with much more on all this. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. High political drama here at the Palace of Westminster, the home of the British Parliament, shows just how controversial President Trump is here in this country, one of America's closest allies. So this is what happened. The Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, who, unlike an American Speaker of the House, is supposed to be strictly nonpartisan, he stood up from his chair at the head of the House and he declared that he personally would block any invitation for President Trump to come to Westminster Hall here and give a speech to the British Parliament.
I would not wish to issue an invitation to President Trump to speak in the Royal Gallery. Our opposition to racism and to sexism and our support for equality before the law and an independent judiciary are hugely important considerations in the House of Commons.
That's just astonishing. You got to understand, speakers here aren't supposed to do that. They're the guys who yell order, order, and rule on the motions in the House. People are saying that 800 years of this Parliament, no speaker's ever done anything quite like that.
So, Terry, what has been the reaction of everybody over there?
Well, the reaction ranges from patriotic pride, he's getting cheers from people who say he's standing up for British values, to fury, people really angry at him. They say he's gone way out of his lane, he's showboating, and that he may be damaging the relationship, the crucial alliance between Britain and the U.S. It just shows, Robin, that right across Europe, President Trump is really stirring a lot of controversy.
That is apparent. All right, Terry, thanks so much. Michael?
All right, thank you, Robin. And now the breaking news about the flu, which is so widespread, some hospitals are reportedly running out of beds. And Dr. Besser is here to talk about this with me. And Doctor, the flu season has been deadly this year.
Yeah.
But what areas have been the hardest hit?
Yeah, it's many regions of the country. Take a look at this map. If you look here in the Northeast, high levels of flu, down in the South and in the Midwest. But even out in California, which isn't lighting up as much, they're saying that some hospitals are running out of beds.
But what makes this strain so dangerous from strains in the past?
So each year there are different flu strains that go around. The one this year is called H3N2. And whenever it's an H3N2 year, it tends to be much more severe. The CDC's received 15 reports of deaths in children so far, but we have another 6 to 8 weeks of flu coming, and I expect the number of deaths to go up. So it's not too late to get that vaccine.
So we still have another 6 to 8 weeks. We still have some time to go, but it's not too late. It's still time to get the shot.
Definitely. You know, it can take a couple weeks to be fully active in your body, but I would recommend if you haven't gotten it or your kids haven't gotten it, go ahead and get it.
All right. Thank you, Doc. George, back to you.
Thank you, Michael. We're going to move on now to that wild weather slamming the center of the country. 23 states under winter weather alerts. Ginger is tracking it.
And we are tracking that southern part of the storm where the lightning, you can see the images there. Severe storms already blowing through parts of Arkansas and Tennessee this morning. Damaging wind, the main threat this morning. And this threat is going to go through the late morning and early afternoon. So it's already happening now, as we see on the map. Lots of lightning strikes across the Mid-South. And the severe threat stretches from parts of Cincinnati, southern Ohio, right down through more of a tornado threat in parts of Mississippi and Alabama today. This before the Northeast does a mile to a really cold whiplash. So you're close to 60 in New York City on Wednesday, and then by Thursday, 30 with snow, Robin.
Oh my gosh, just stay tuned, right, Ginger?
That's right. You got to pay attention to this one because you don't want to wake up Thursday morning and say, wait a minute.
Exactly. Thank you, Ginger. Now to an urgent manhunt in Florida for 2 suspects on the run who may be linked to 3 murders across the South. The pair is considered armed and dangerous. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with new details on that. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Police say they do not believe that Monday's attack will be the last. Residents in several communities in the Florida Panhandle are now on high alert. Police are doubling the number of officers on the street in a desperate attempt to catch the suspects.
This morning, authorities in Florida are escalating the search for this dangerous duo, William Boyette and Mary Craig Rice, after an alleged crime spree spanning 2 states that left 3 women dead and 1 critically injured.
What we are experiencing is a running nightmare, quite honest.
The alleged crime spree began last Tuesday when 30-year-old Alicia Greer and 39-year-old Jacqueline Jeanette Moore were found murdered in a hotel in Milton, Florida. Greer, a mother of 3, was in an abusive relationship with Boyette, according to her father.
He choked her down to the ground,
kicked her in the face.
But authorities say none of the other victims had any connection to Boyette.
Every once in a while we have an individual like this that, quite honestly, it's hard to get inside their head.
The pair's next attack Friday morning in Lillian, Alabama, where authorities say they murdered 52-year-old Peggy Brose in her front yard and then fled in her car. In their latest attack, Kayla Crocker in Pensacola, Florida, she was left in critical condition. Her 2-year-old son was uninjured. Authorities searching for the suspects say they may be hiding out in the woods and that Rice has dyed her hair orange to avoid detection.
We know that Boyette and Rice have been in that wooded area.
Police say Boyette is a heavy user of the synthetic drug Spice and that he has reportedly said to many people that he will not be taken alive. Michael.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. And as we told you earlier, the Super Bowl champion, New England Patriots, they're back in Boston after their big come-from-behind win. But one thing that's missing that was left behind, superstar quarterback Tom Brady's game jersey. And Gio Benitez is in Boston with the latest on that. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. We are just hours away from that big victory parade here. In fact, fans are going to be packing in right behind me here. But right now this morning, there is a big headline making news. Where is that jersey? The internet's already given it a name, Jerseygate.
I put it in my bag. I absolutely 100% put it in my bag.
With a 5th Super Bowl ring now in his possession, this morning Houston police, NFL security, state police, and local law enforcement officials are all joining forces, trying to help 4-time MVP Tom Brady locate another accessory.
Did someone take my jersey?
Number 12, seen here rifling through his equipment bag.
Brady has his 5th!
Moments after that record-breaking game.
I put it in here. Just let someone at the door check every one of these meetings. No, but it was just...
The jersey nowhere to be seen.
Honest to God, Tommy, someone stole my game jersey. We gotta look online.
The Patriots say Brady's shirt and pads were removed from the field before Sunday night's trophy ceremony, an equipment manager initially thinking he had safely locked them up, but apparently not the case.
The jersey, yeah, I put it in my bag and then I came out and it wasn't there anymore.
The state's lieutenant governor even calling on the Texas Rangers for help. So what's the big deal? Well, some experts say the jersey could bring in $500,000, but others say
it basically has zero value. Anyone that sees this jersey is going to know that's the stolen jersey. The only thing they can do is send it in an unmarked envelope and return it to Boston and say sorry.
But the QB knows there are more important things in life, posting these pics of his family after the game, paying tribute to his mom, who Patriots owner Robert Kraft says has been going through chemotherapy and radiation.
She's been through a lot, way harder than what I went through last night, way harder than what our team went through last night. She hadn't been to a game all year, so what a hell of a game for her to be at.
And we should tell you that Brady says his mother's prognosis is good, but she is still fighting, and we certainly hope she gets better. But you may remember the lieutenant governor actually enlisted the help of the Texas Rangers, the baseball team, to help find that jersey. Well, the Rangers replied in a tweet, check this out, "This is a bit out of our job description, but we'll see what we can do." Guys, back to you.
I think they got a little mixed up with the Rangers there.
A lot goes on in the locker room.
A lot goes on, and there's so much chaos, especially after a game like that. You don't know who's in and who's out there, or no camera then there. Very easy to tuck a jersey in a backpack and under your coat. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? And what do we know about the weather for this big parade?
You saw Gio standing there looking, he was dry. Well, that is not going to be the case for the parade, you guys. It doesn't look great. So the rain moving in and actually snow. So we have winter weather advisories that stretch from New England back through even North Dakota. Some of the freezing rain advisories start in Connecticut and go to the north and east. So it's really not going to be a pretty late morning, early afternoon, but very much like Boston is used to. We stopped it right there just as the parade is kind of coming to an end, but 11 a.m. to 12, you'll go rain to snow with a little breeze. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, your Tuesday trivia brought to you by Walgreens.
Look at you, saving money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions. At Walgreens, we make it easy for you to seize the day by helping you get more out of life and Medicare Part D. Now with $0 copays on select plans and rewards points on all prescriptions, Walgreens has you covered. So drop by and seize the savings. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
And a few showers this morning. Good morning, meteorologist Brian Vandegraff. But as we go through the afternoon, those showers will taper. We'll get some peaks of sunshine, and a strong south-southwesterly wind could take us to 70. We should be 45 degrees, believe it or not. Overnight, a little bit of patchy fog around, temperatures in the 50s, maybe a shower or two, a possibility later tonight, very isolated. Tomorrow, more clouds and sunshine, still mild in the mid-60s. It's Thursday. We'll have to watch another system that swings by, could even try to bring us a little bit of early morning snow, believe it or not.